Hey traders, Nick Shane here looking at Novavax one more time. So today I posted on Twitter, I don't know if you follow me there. If not, you can find me there, Racer Nick, no K. And no digits, no nothing. Just plain old Racer Nick. So I had two triggers on it, upside triggers, and I posted on them. I missed the first one, it was busy. It was a busy day in the chat room. And then the second one just triggered literally off of this. So if I go in here, it'll have I still have three active ones, and those are them right there. See, they highlight when you roll over them, and two that just triggered. And if I put them back on, restart them, you'll see it's 119 and 122.94. So I wanted, if I missed the first one, which I did, I said, well, it's too late for me to get on board for a trade until they convincingly go above that. And they just did. This is a daily candle. If you're a fast trader, this doesn't do. You should go into more minute levels of time frames. So as far as staying out here, let's discuss the levels that will matter. I don't know the headlines on the stock. Oh, so BA, I guess, is taking off. Yeah, it is. Yeah, buddy. So the fundamentals are on you. It's too expensive for what it is right now, but it's all about future successes. And technically, I see, no particular reason to be long it other than that the fact that they're on the shorter term, you can find the lines that chase those. So I guess I'd be more excited chasing trades versus chasing the investment idea of this golden ticket out there. I would be careful losing this level because that would trigger a really bad scenario. I don't want to discuss it here. Just, book your longs. These three candles matter, and so does this one, and they come too close together, so it might not be a hard line in the sand at this level here, but let's call it 80. It needs to hold above 80. I expect sellers on this time frame to come in here and into the 133 area. If there's another line to be drawn, is around 144. And definitely off the last biggest ledge that there was, which is 155, 156. So this is the biggest ledge, right? Well, this one is more like an island top, whatever they call it. So I expect sellers. So if somebody's stuck up here, they'll be tempted. It becomes supply. So this is on the daily. But for a faster trader, they should dig in deeper. Let's start with 2-hour charts. Okay, so this is the 2-hour chart. And you'll get better granularity. So right away I see a level that is in contention right here, right now. If I look left from where my mouse is, that was a floor they tried to hold emphatically and they succeeded, but the next time they came, they lost it. So now they're coming at it. What do they say? Prior support becomes forward resistance. Therein lies the dilemma. So if I were to draw a line, which I did, I drew it at 132 and change, which looks like a ledge right there. And there's a little gap here that they might want to tackle. This also looks like a tabletop they tried to hold and failed, so this candle is important to me. The most important candle of all of these, I'll give you a second to see if you can pick it. I should say the most important level here. Literally the mathematically most important level. I couldn't give you a bigger hint. It's that orange line right here. For this period of time, which includes from late July until now, this is the line where they loved it the most by a mile. So the volume bars that are down here, they're also up here, and they tell me that between 147.50 and 143 is where they traded this stock the most. Both bulls and bears loved it. And if that's the case, when price is going into it, that's a lot of resistance, because they love to trade it there. So if the price is rising, so there's an imbalance of buyers to sellers, more buyers than sellers, that's why it's rising, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then it hits a line where everybody loves it, then that imbalance kind of goes away. It'll be like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So it should find resistance throughout. So it all depends on how fast you're trading. So my alerts were probably on a lower time frame, 60 minutes. Something's going on over there. Huge pop in what? I don't see. Anyway, I don't get any much more information than, okay, I missed the trigger off of this or this. It's probably too late to get. I want to see how they handle the resistance, and I want to see how, more importantly, they set the footing. Okay, so if this was a breakout, then they should come back down and test it for footing, and then they build. That's how they build it. Okay, so they will go one. That was a trade earlier today on the SPX for one day. So if that was the breakout, and if they fade because I said there's resistance up here, that's normal, and then they touch it and they go back up there, and that's how they come back. So this is a mini breakout. They test it for footing. That's how they inch up. They don't just go boom through all resistance levels. Sometimes they do, especially biotechs, but they shouldn't. Normal procedure, normal price action should unfold in a way where they hit resistance, they struggle with it, they fight over it, they breach it, they come back and test it for footing maybe once or twice, and then they go back and tackle the next problem. So it's one accident at a time. There was one accident. These are 1 hour charts. So if I wanted to take a maybe slightly longer term approach, here you can clearly see we're already talking snow. That's a new IPO. Sounds expensive. So you can clearly see this is where we're at, right? That's today's battle. It was important. Luckily, the bulls were able to defend it, and look how important it was here. So it was a breakout. They tested it for footing twice, and then they took off. Tested it for footing, lost it. Now we're looking at a head and shoulder. And by the way, I don't know if I talked about this in my prior videos, but they were pretty popular, so I must have said something good. And maybe you're a return viewer. So here we go. There's another level that sticks out, and it mattered here. So check this out. What if they battle here and then come back? You do not want to lose this if you're a bull. Now it looks like an inverse cup and handle, and the downside will be, don't be upset. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying that if it happens, there could be this much downside, technically. So way lower prices. You're saying, oh my gosh, I want to remind you that this stock was under $1 not too long ago, and reverse split 20 to 1 to continue to exist. So if the vaccine fails, trust me, the bids will disappear. Okay, nobody's talking about failure of vaccine, and now you're getting more upset. I don't know anything about the vaccine. You do. I'm telling you where the pitfalls are on the charts. And if you're a bull, you do not want this stock to lose that level. Luckily, you have a somewhat band of consolidation just below it, so it's probably more like a band, and it's probably not going to be a disaster. But if it does, technically, that's where it should go, with a lot of stops in between because of prior existence. So support somewhere. We'll look at it when we zoom out. But right here, the fight is right here. That's number one. What you do not want is to come back to retest this base and lose it, because now we're looking at an inverse cup and handle. We already had a head and shoulders play out. This was the downside. They stopped it beforehand. So technically, this was the downside. Depends where you draw them. Well, the neck is kind of wonky, so I'm going to stop talking, because there was a breakdown that was foreseen by bearish pattern, and it almost got filled. Done. Now the battle is here, and what you want to see is maybe a fade and then reattacking, going above it, retesting for footing, so you can do whatever you want up here. What you do not want to see is this once or twice and then losing. If you do, then this should be a stop out zone for me. If I was long, I would be like, oh, I'm out. Whatever I think I know is in trouble. So that would be how I would trade it. Good consolidation level here. Look, there was a squeeze, and then I had two scenarios, and then to the moon. I don't have a trade, by the way, on this one. I do not have a trade. So this is an unbiased opinion. I don't have any friends that are in it, so this is truly an unbiased opinion. So yeah, let's go to the daily. And this was a 20 to 1 split back here. So whatever the value is now divided by 20 is really what it was. And it was literally under $1 and almost getting delisted. And that's not the first time this has happened. I told you I used to trade it on the bullish side when it was up in the $8 to $12 pre-split. So these are high now because they split them. 20 to 1, reverse split them. right? And then it fell apart one time here. I can't remember which one. It fell under the dollar at 80 cents, and then I bought a dollar call that was out in January, which was like 6 or 8 months out from that day. And that made me money. So I am not a hater of the stock. I did hate it earlier this year because this was crazy. Even if they had the best vaccine on the planet, they cannot make money on it. They're going to be restricted. But again, I don't know the fundamentals. You do. Technically, it has issues if it falls. Right now, it's in the hands of the bulls on the bounce. So they will buy the dips. It's a matter of if they will buy them where it matters, which is right here, should the you-know-what hit the fan. Besides, it needs to trade inside a market, right? And the whole market is kind of extended. So there's that risk as well, extrinsic risk. Easy for me to say. All right, Nick signing out.